There is a stirring in the unseen, a pulse, a divine current that is moving, swift, sure, unstoppable. And you, chosen one, stand at the epicenter of this spiritual shift. This is not chance. This is not coincidence. This is destiny in motion. Everything that you have endured, every silent tear, every sleepless night, every door that closed, every delay that stretched your soul, was never for nothing. It was shaping something sacred within you. This Sunday is not just a date on the calendar. It is a sacred appointment etched in the divine timeline before you ever took your first breath. It is the day heaven activates your purpose. The final step is here, and with it, the full unveiling of who you were born to become. Stay with this message to the end. Let every word settle in your spirit. Let's subscribe, like this video. Share it with someone who feels lost. Comment 777 and your deepest hope below. Because that simple act isn't just interaction. It's declaration. It's alignment. It's spiritual agreement with the shift that is already breaking forth. There were seasons when you felt forgotten, when prayers echoed into silence and time seemed to stand still. While others moved ahead, you remained, caught between hope and heartache, wondering if your moment would ever come. But hear this truth. The waiting was never a waste. In the stillness, something sacred was unfolding. Though invisible to the eye, your soul was being strengthened, your character refined. The delay wasn't a punishment, it was protection. You were being shaped, not stalled. Heaven wasn't withholding your breakthrough. It was preparing you to carry it well. Every detour, every delay, was orchestrated with purpose. You weren't falling behind. You were being rooted deeply, so you could rise without collapsing. What looked like loss was making space for longevity. What felt like silence was God's strategy in motion. And now, you're beginning to see it. The clarity, the maturity, the unshakable faith that only waiting can build. You're no longer who you were when this journey began. You're wiser, deeper, stronger. The waiting carved room for what's coming next. Look back, not with regret, but with reverence. The waiting taught you to trust, to endure, to grow. And soon, what took years to understand will unfold in moments of divine clarity. Because what was forming in the dark is about to shine in the light. And when it does, you'll know. Every second of waiting was worth it. There's a mountain you were born to climb, a summit carved into your destiny long before you ever knew it existed. For years, you've watched others rise, their paths seeming smoother, their victories coming sooner. And though you celebrated them deep within, a quiet ache lingered. When will it be my turn? You wondered. But what you didn't see was how heaven was anchoring your roots in the unseen. While others ascended quickly, your foundation was being forged in depth, not speed. The silence, the delays, the closed doors, they weren't rejections. They were sacred preparations. You were never behind. You were being held in divine timing. Now the mountain that waited patiently for your readiness is calling your name, not with a roar, but with a quiet knowing deep in your spirit. What once felt far off is now within reach, not because you forced it, but because you've grown into it. You've been refined in fire, humbled in hiddenness, strengthened in silence. You're not rising with arrogance, but with authority, the kind that comes from endurance, not entitlement. And when you take that first step toward your mountain, you'll feel it. Alignment, confirmation, peace. You'll realize this climb isn't about proving yourself. It's about claiming what's already been promised. This mountain wasn't for everyone. It was made for you. And now it's time to rise, not just to the top, but into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. You've spent years believing that more effort would unlock your breakthrough, that if you just worked harder, prayed longer, or pushed further, everything would finally fall into place. But now, something in your spirit is shifting. You're beginning to realize that the next move in your journey isn't about striving. It's about aligning. This final step isn't earned through exhaustion. It's received through surrender. It's not about forcing open doors. It's about recognizing the ones that open simply because you've arrived, in full alignment with divine timing. You've already done the hard part, the inner work, the healing, the waiting. And now, you're not chasing opportunity. Opportunity is finding you. Not because of what you do, but because of who you've become. When your heart, your purpose, and God's timing come into agreement, something powerful happens. You don't have to hustle your way into destiny. You walk into it with grace and certainty. Things begin to align without effort. Conversations flow, doors open, and clarity replaces confusion. This is the beauty of alignment. It brings ease where there was once pressure. It replaces fear with peace, and the peace itself becomes your confirmation. So as you approach this final step, don't reach for more effort. Reach for stillness. Stay sensitive. Stay surrendered. Because divine alignment is not about what you force. It's about what flows when heaven says now. And now, beloved, the time has come. Letting go is never easy, especially when you've grown attached to what once brought comfort, familiarity, or even identity. But as you rise into the next level of your calling, not everything can come with you. Some connections, habits, and environments served a purpose in a previous season, but now they've run their course. This is not rejection. It's divine refinement. You are not being abandoned. You are being aligned. As your destiny begins to unfold, there's a natural shaking that occurs. What's no longer meant for your journey begins to fall away. People who once felt essential may drift. Old patterns that once gave you stability may suddenly feel heavy. And though this release can feel like loss, it is, in truth, liberation. This is divine filtration in motion. Heaven is clearing your path not to punish you but to prepare you. You are being made lighter, freer, more focused, for what's ahead requires clarity, strength, and unwavering obedience. Do not resist the separation. Don't cling to what's unraveling. Let go with peace, not panic. The very fact that these things are loosening their grip is your confirmation that the shift is real. You'll know it's God when the release brings relief, when the ending feels more like peace than pain. That's how divine transitions work. They make room for what is greater, higher, and more aligned. So trust the process. What leaves now wasn't meant to last forever, and what remains will be part of the legacy you're called to build. Letting go is not a loss. It's the sacred preparation for what's next. When heaven moves, it rarely does so in silence. And as your destiny begins to unfold, the signs will surround you, clear, precise, and impossible to ignore. These aren't coincidences, they are confirmations. You'll begin to notice repeating patterns, numbers that catch your eye, phrases that echo from unexpected places, dreams that carry messages you can't shake. These signs aren't random. They're heaven's way of saying, you're in alignment. In this season, pay attention to the subtle, a conversation that stirs your spirit, a delay that redirects you, a door that once stayed shut, now swinging open with ease. These are not accidents. They are divine winks, heaven's quiet way of affirming that you're exactly where you need to be. You'll feel it in your body too. A sudden peace when you step into the right place, a surge of clarity when you speak your truth. Your heart will sense what your mind can't explain. This is spiritual alignment. It doesn't shout, but it never lies. And when these signs come, you won't need to question. Deep down, your soul will recognize them. What once felt uncertain will feel obvious. The confirmation will be so precise that you'll know it couldn't have been orchestrated by anyone but God. So stay alert, be sensitive, keep your heart open and your spirit tuned, because heaven is speaking. And in this season, its voice will be loud, not through noise, but through unmistakable alignment. The signs will not just encourage you, they will anchor you. For so long you lived in survival mode, doing what you had to do, carrying more than you should, stretching yourself just to stay afloat. You adapted, you endured, you made it through battles no one saw. But now, the season of just surviving is over. Something sacred is shifting. You are stepping into supernatural activation, a place where the weight you carried is lifted and the flow of divine favor begins. This is not the result of striving harder. It's the fruit of alignment. You are no longer operating from pressure, but from presence. No longer reacting to crisis, but responding to calling. In survival, you did what was necessary. In activation, you move with purpose. The strength you built in the hidden place is now your foundation. The faith you formed in the fire is now your fuel. You're entering rooms you once dreamed of, not because you forced your way in, but because heaven has declared, it's time. Things that once drained you will now energize you. Ideas will flow, connections will come, provision will align with vision. Not through manipulation or fear, but through supernatural grace. You are no longer begging for scraps. You are sitting at the table that was always prepared for you. This is the shift, from hustling to hearing, from striving to stewarding, from barely holding on to boldly moving forward. You didn't just survive to survive. You survived to lead, to build, to thrive. Now rise in the full awareness of who you are, not a struggler, not a shadow, a chosen one, fully activated. There comes a sacred turning point in every journey, the moment when waiting gives way to movement. You've lingered in that in-between space for so long, holding on to promises that felt distant, trusting in silence, hoping through uncertainty. But now, something has shifted. The time of waiting is ending. The time to walk has begun. This is not a rush step, not a desperate leap, but a steady movement born from deep spiritual alignment. You're no longer standing still, questioning your readiness. You're stepping forward with quiet confidence, knowing that what once seemed far away is now unfolding in front of you. The waiting was never wasted. It was preparation. It cultivated patience, sharpened discernment, and rooted your identity in truth. You didn't just wait, you grew. And now, every step you take carries the weight of that growth. You're not walking as the same person who once wondered, when will it be my turn? You're walking as someone who knows the turn has come. The fog is lifting, the pace is changing. Your spirit recognizes the shift, and your feet are following the call. No more hesitation, no more shrinking back. What God prepared is now becoming visible, and you are being led straight into it. So walk, boldly, humbly, faithfully. Because what you're stepping into now isn't just a new season. It's the beginning of everything you've been waiting for. You've seen glimpses of breakthrough before, moments of light that sparked hope, only to fade into another season of waiting. You dared to believe, but deep down, a quiet fear always lingered. What if it doesn't last? But this time is different. Because this time, it's not fleeting. It's not fragile. It's foundational. What is unfolding now has been built on solid ground, on the tears you cried in secret, the faith you held in silence, the strength you forged in stillness. You are not entering a temporary high. You're stepping into a lasting shift. This is not a breakthrough that fades with emotion. It's a transformation rooted in maturity. You've been prepared not just for a moment, but for longevity. What's happening now is not a spark. It's a sustained flame. You've changed, and because you've changed, everything around you is about to change with you. This time, you're not striving to keep it. You're aligned to carry it. Your foundation is no longer shaken by doubt or delay. You walk with the assurance of someone who has been refined by fire and shaped by purpose. There is no going back to the old cycle. This is not a glimpse. It's a gateway. And as you move forward, you'll realize the struggle wasn't just for survival. It was for this. This time, it's not just your season. It's your establishment. And it's here to stay. There comes a moment when destiny no longer whispers, it calls. And that moment is now. You've walked through the fire, weathered the silence, and endured the long, hidden seasons. But every tear, every delay, every unanswered prayer was preparing you for this divine appointment. Destiny is speaking, not with confusion, but with clarity, not with pressure, but with peace. The signs are all around you. The doors are beginning to open. The weight in your spirit is lifting. Everything within and around you is aligning for the next chapter. And this time, it's not about waiting. It's about responding. Can you feel it? That stirring in your soul is not fear. It's recognition. The path ahead may not be fully revealed, but the invitation is clear. Step forward. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to say yes. This is the moment to rise, to release what was, and step boldly into what is. Heaven has cast its vote. The timing is divine. The alignment is unfolding. But only you can decide to walk into it. Destiny is calling your name, not because you're perfect, but because you're prepared. Not because you earned it, but because you're ready to carry it. So now the question remains, will you answer? Not tomorrow. Not when it feels safe. Now. Because this is more than a moment. It's your turning point. And it's time. Have you ever felt like you were born for something greater? Something beyond the ordinary? Like there's a part of you that's awake, aware, and searching, while the rest of the world seems asleep? If so, know this. You are not alone. You are one of the chosen. This message wasn't found by accident. It was drawn to you at exactly the right time, because your spirit is ready to rise. Today, I invite you on a journey, a sacred awakening to who you truly are, why you have walked through seasons of isolation, and how to finally connect with the tribe that will walk with you into your destiny. This is not just a message, it's a calling. Are you ready to answer? Before beginning the video, let's subscribe, like this video, and stay with me until the end of this message, and you will understand why you were led here. This is your moment. To be called a chosen one is often misunderstood. It is not a title meant to elevate the ego or suggest superiority over others. Rather, it is a sacred designation, a profound spiritual responsibility that sets you on a unique and challenging path. Long before your first breath, before you stepped into this physical world, your soul made a deliberate agreement. It accepted a divine mission, a higher calling that would require strength, perseverance, and an unwavering commitment to truth. This calling marks you as different, not in a superficial way, but at the very core of your being. From a young age, you may have sensed that you didn't quite fit into the ordinary rhythms of life. You felt a subtle yet persistent yearning for something deeper, something more meaningful than what others seem satisfied with. While many are content with surface-level distractions and fleeting pleasures, your spirit has always been drawn to profound truths and a higher purpose. This restless longing is not a flaw or a curse. It is the unmistakable sign of a soul awakened to its divine assignment. Being chosen means you carry a light that shines differently in a world that often embraces darkness. It means you are called to stand for love, integrity, and authenticity, even when it is difficult, even when it costs you comfort, relationships, or acceptance. Your mission is not to blend in or to conform, but to be a beacon that awakens and inspires others. This role is not easy. It demands courage to walk a path that few understand, resilience to endure trials that sometimes feel unbearable, and humility to serve a purpose greater than yourself. You may have experienced isolation, rejection, or misunderstanding because of this. Perhaps your sensitivity was labeled as weakness, your intensity mistaken for anger, or your quiet depth dismissed as aloofness. But these experiences have not been accidental. They have been part of your preparation, tools refining your spirit and deepening your wisdom. Your ability to see beyond the surface, to discern the hidden motives in others, and to sense spiritual truths is a gift. It sets you apart, but it also equips you for the sacred work ahead. To be chosen by God or the divine is to accept a responsibility that often comes with hardship. The greater the calling, the heavier the trials. You have likely faced challenges that would have broken others, yet here you are, still standing, still listening, still answering the call. This endurance is not simply human strength, it is divine grace at work in you. It proves that your soul is marked for something extraordinary. In essence, being chosen means you are a spiritual warrior. Your journey is one of awakening, healing, and transformation. It is a path that leads you to love deeper, feel more profoundly, and live with purpose. You are not here to be like everyone else. You were born different, not by chance, but by divine design. And in embracing this truth, you begin to step fully into the powerful, beautiful destiny that awaits you. One of the most difficult aspects of being chosen is the experience of isolation. For many who walk this sacred path, there comes a season, sometimes lasting years, when they feel deeply alone, unseen, and misunderstood. This solitude can feel heavy, even painful, as if the world has turned its back, and no one truly knows the weight you carry. But this season of isolation is not a punishment or a sign of failure. Instead, it is a divine invitation to prepare, to purify, and to become ready for the mission you were born to fulfill. Throughout history, those who carried great spiritual callings often retreated into solitude before stepping into their purpose. Think of the prophets who wandered the wilderness, the mystics who sought silence in caves, and even the Messiah who withdrew from the crowds to pray and reflect. These moments of solitude were never accidental. They were essential. They created space for transformation, a space where distractions fall away and the soul can deepen its connection with the divine. Your own season of isolation has likely involved a stripping away of comfort, familiar relationships, and old identities. People who once seemed close may have drifted away. Doors you expected to open have closed, and the familiar rhythms of life have shifted dramatically. While this process can feel confusing or even painful, it is a sacred work of refinement. The divine is removing all that no longer belongs, making room for the new you, the one who is aligned with your higher purpose. In isolation, you learn to trust something deeper than the approval of others or the security of familiar surroundings. You are invited to rely on the inner voice of divine guidance, which often speaks most clearly in the quiet moments when the world's noise fades away. This is where your spiritual discernment is sharpened, where your faith is tested, and where your true identity begins to emerge without masks or pretenses. It's important to understand that this period of solitude is also a form of protection. The gifts you carry, the light, the wisdom, the healing, are precious and powerful. They are not meant to be exposed to the wrong environments or people before you are fully ready. The Most High has sheltered you, hidden your anointing until the timing is perfect. This divine protection may have felt like loneliness or abandonment, but in truth, it was a shield guarding your sacred calling. While isolation can feel like a heavy burden, it is also a sacred blessing. It is a time when your spirit is being fortified, your purpose clarified, and your character strengthened. You are being prepared not only to walk your path, but to lead others, to guide your tribe, and to fulfill the mission only you can accomplish. So if you are in this season now, know that you are not forgotten. You are not broken. You are being molded by divine hands, readying you for a time of profound connection and powerful service. This sacred season of isolation will pass, and when it does, you will step forward transformed, whole, wise, and radiant, prepared to rise and walk fully in the light you were born to carry. The moment of spiritual awakening is one of the most profound and transformative experiences you can encounter. It is not something that happens by accident or as a fleeting phase. It is a deliberate divine shaking that pulls you out of the sleep of illusion and calls you into a higher reality. This awakening changes everything, uprooting old beliefs, altering your perceptions, and reshaping your very soul. Before awakening, the world may have felt familiar but somehow hollow. You went through life following patterns, beliefs, and roles that were handed down or adopted unconsciously. But deep inside, something stirred. A quiet voice, a restless longing, or an inner knowing that there had to be more. When the awakening comes, it is like a veil lifting from your eyes. Suddenly, you begin to see the world, and yourself, with new clarity and depth. This awakening often feels violent and confusing because it dismantles the comfortable illusions that once gave you security. You may start to question everything: your relationships, your values, your purpose. Habits that once brought comfort no longer satisfy. People and situations you once accepted may no longer feel right. This process can be painful because it forces you to confront your shadows, your fears, and the parts of yourself you might have hidden away. But this pain is sacred. It is the death of the false self and the birth of your authentic spirit. The spiritual awakening is a rebirth that frees you from chains of deception, self-betrayal, and spiritual sleep. You begin to awaken to your divine identity, your unique gifts, and your higher mission on earth. The voice of the Most High grows louder in your heart, guiding you toward truth and away from illusions. With this new vision, you start to recognize signs and synchronicities that once went unnoticed. Repeating numbers, meaningful encounters, and subtle messages all become confirmations that you are on the right path. Your intuition sharpens, and you develop a heightened sensitivity to energies around you. You may feel the pain of others more deeply, sense the unspoken truths in conversations, or receive dreams and visions that guide your steps. However, this awakening can also bring isolation. As your truth deepens, you may find it harder to connect with those who remain asleep to these realities. This separation, while painful, is necessary to protect your growth and to prepare you for new soul-aligned relationships. Ultimately, the awakening is a sacred preparation, a clearing away of falsehoods so that your true frequency can rise. And once your frequency rises, you begin to attract your soul tribe, those who vibrate at the same spiritual level and share your divine mission. Your awakening is not just about you. It is the key that unlocks the door to a community where you will be understood, supported, and empowered. This is the moment where your path truly begins. The confusion and chaos give way to clarity and purpose. Your soul's voice becomes unmistakable, calling you onward. The awakening changes everything because it reconnects you to your origin, your divine source, and your sacred calling. Embrace this transformation, even when it feels difficult. It is the essential step toward becoming the powerful, radiant being you were always meant to be. After the deep transformation of your spiritual awakening, a new longing begins to stir within you, the desire to find your soul tribe. This tribe is not just a group of friends or acquaintances. They are the people who resonate with your deepest essence, those who share your frequency, your values, and your divine mission. Finding your soul tribe is one of the most powerful steps on your spiritual journey because it brings a sense of belonging, support, and mutual growth unlike any other. Your soul tribe feels like coming home after a long, exhausting journey. When you are with them, there is an immediate sense of ease, understanding, and acceptance. You don't have to explain yourself or hide parts of who you are. Your light is met with celebration, not judgment. Their presence mirrors your own soul, both your strengths and your shadows, encouraging you to grow and heal in ways you never thought possible. But discovering your tribe is not about chance or convenience. It is about alignment, spiritual and energetic alignment. You attract your tribe through the vibration you hold, not through forcing connections or seeking approval. If you are still carrying fear, self-doubt, or masking your true self, you may find it hard to connect with those who truly belong in your life. Your tribe recognizes the authentic you, the person who lives boldly in their truth and embraces their spiritual gifts without apology. Recognizing your soul tribe often happens in subtle, almost mystical ways. You might encounter them repeatedly in unexpected places, feel drawn to certain communities or events, or experience meaningful synchronicities, those divine nudges that confirm you are on the right path. Sometimes you may receive intuitive impressions or dreams that guide you toward specific people or places. It's important to remember that your tribe is not meant to complete you. They meet you where you already are whole. Their purpose is to support your growth and amplify your gifts as you fulfill your sacred mission together. True Soul Tribe members challenge you lovingly, hold space for your healing, and celebrate your victories. Finding your tribe also requires patience and discernment. Not everyone who seems aligned is truly your tribe. Some connections may be temporary or serve specific lessons. Trust your intuition to guide you in welcoming those who uplift you and releasing those who drain your energy. When you finally connect with your soul tribe, you will experience a powerful awakening of community and purpose. Together, you will rise higher, shine brighter, and walk boldly into the mission you were born to fulfill. While the idea of finding your soul tribe fills your heart with hope and excitement, it's important to recognize that this journey is not without its challenges. The path to genuine spiritual connection is often layered with tests, lessons, and moments of deep inner work. Understanding these challenges can prepare you to navigate them with grace, discernment, and faith. One of the first and most common obstacles is encountering counterfeit connections. Not everyone who speaks the language of spirituality or claims to be awake is truly aligned with divine truth. Some wear masks of light but operate from ego-driven motives, manipulation, or unresolved wounds. When you're longing for connection, it's easy to mistake familiarity or surface similarities for soul resonance. That's why discernment is crucial. Pay close attention to how people make you feel. Do they uplift your spirit and encourage your growth? Or do they create confusion, doubt, or drain your energy? Your intuition is a powerful guide. Learn to trust it, even when your mind tries to rationalize otherwise. Another challenge is impatience. After long seasons of loneliness and searching, the desire to find your tribe can lead to rushing connections or holding on to relationships that aren't truly aligned. Remember, divine timing is perfect. True soul tribe members arrive when both hearts are ready. Forcing a connection rarely leads to lasting, healthy relationships. Be patient and trust that what is meant for you will come in its own time. Old wounds and fears may also resurface as you deepen your connections. Your tribe reflects both your light and your shadows, which means healing can be triggered. Issues like fear of abandonment, trust struggles, or vulnerability may come up. These moments are not setbacks. They are opportunities to heal together in love and acceptance. A true tribe walks beside you through these challenges, offering grace and support rather than judgment or abandonment. Finally, understand that not every soul connection is meant to last forever. Some tribe members come for a season, helping you grow into your next version before moving on. This natural flow requires releasing relationships with love and faith, trusting that your divine path unfolds perfectly. Embracing these challenges with awareness and courage strengthens your journey. Each obstacle is an invitation to deepen your faith, refine your discernment, and step more fully into the powerful mission you were born to fulfill. When you finally unite with your soul tribe, something extraordinary happens. A powerful shift that touches every part of your being. This union is more than just a gathering of like-minded individuals. It is a sacred convergence of energies, missions, and hearts that creates a force far greater than the sum of its parts. Together, you awaken potentials, accelerate growth, and step into a higher level of purpose. One of the first gifts you'll notice in your tribe is a sense of effortless growth. What once felt heavy, slow, or overwhelming now flows naturally. This is because your tribe members do not drain your energy. They amplify it. They celebrate your strengths and encourage you to stretch beyond your limits. In their presence, your dreams feel more attainable, and your spiritual gifts shine brighter. This energy exchange creates momentum, propelling each member forward on their divine journey. Beyond growth, your tribe activates dormant gifts within you. Perhaps you've held back certain abilities, prophetic insight, healing, intuitive knowing, because you didn't feel safe or understood. But surrounded by your tribe, these gifts awaken and deepen. Your intuition becomes sharper, your spiritual downloads more frequent, and your creative expressions more inspired. This activation is a divine chain reaction, as each soul's light sparks the others, unlocking new levels of power and insight. The power of union also lies in belonging and acceptance. With your tribe, you experience a profound sense of being truly seen and valued for exactly who you are, flaws, shadows, and all. You no longer need to shrink or hide parts of yourself to fit in. Instead, your authenticity is met with love and celebration. This acceptance creates a safe space where vulnerability becomes a strength and healing can flourish. Together, your tribe becomes a collective force for transformation, not only for each other, but for the world. The union of your energies creates a ripple effect, spreading healing, awakening, and light far beyond your immediate circle. Your combined presence brings hope and change to communities, families, and even nations. In essence, the power of union is the sacred fulfillment of the journey you began when you first answered the call to awaken. It is the moment where your preparation meets divine alignment and your mission ignites with unstoppable force. This is what you have been waiting for, and it is closer than you think. Finding your soul tribe is a profound blessing, but it is just the beginning of a greater journey. Within this sacred community, you are not simply one among many. You carry a unique and essential role that only you can fulfill. Your gifts, your experiences, and your essence combine to create a frequency that enriches the entire tribe and advances its divine mission. Every member of the tribe contributes in a distinct way. You might be the healer, whose presence brings peace and restoration to weary hearts. You may be the seer, gifted with visions and insights that illuminate the path ahead. Perhaps you are the protector, standing guard over the tribe's safety and spiritual well-being. Or you could be the teacher, sharing wisdom that awakens others to their own power and purpose. Whatever your role, remember this: you are vital. Your contribution cannot be replicated or replaced. The tribe's strength depends on the fullness of your expression, your courage to show up authentically, your willingness to share your gifts freely, and your commitment to serve the greater good. It's natural to sometimes doubt your readiness or feel intimidated by the greatness you see in others. But know that the same divine power that chose you has equipped you. You lack nothing. Every challenge you have endured, every moment of growth and healing, has prepared you for this sacred position. Within your tribe, your authenticity is your greatest strength. You don't need to compete or compare. Instead, your presence invites others to step into their own truth. Your vulnerability becomes a source of healing, your faith a beacon of hope, and your leadership a call to rise. You also serve as a mirror to your tribe members, reflecting back their light when they forget their power and holding space for their healing when doubt creeps in. Your role is not just to receive, but to give, to uplift, encourage, and activate the divine potential within everyone around you. Remember, serving your tribe is not about exhausting yourself or striving endlessly. It flows naturally from a place of abundance and grace. Being fully who you are, living in truth and light, is the most powerful ministry you can offer. You are not a mistake or an accident. You are a sacred instrument in the divine symphony, vital to the harmony and mission of your tribe. Embrace your role with boldness and joy, knowing that through you, the collective light shines brighter than ever. Chosen one, breathe this in deeply. Your waiting is over. The isolation, the pain, the confusion, they have all led to this moment. The tribe is forming. The mission is calling. Your light is rising. The world needs your voice, your gifts, your fearless presence. Stand tall, shine boldly, own your divine identity without apology. The Most High has not forgotten you. Your tribe is coming, not by chance, but by divine appointment. Your time to rise is now. If this message speaks to your soul, declare it with me. Comment 777 and let the universe know you are ready to step into your sacred destiny. From the very beginning of creation, God breathed His Spirit into all living things, not just into man, but into the wind, the waters, the skies, and the creatures that fill them. While many go about their lives unaware, there are silent observers in nature who see what human eyes cannot. Animals, intuitive, pure, unburdened by pride, have a mysterious way of recognizing what is hidden from the natural world. Have you ever noticed an animal looking at you differently? Perhaps a bird followed you, or a cat sat quietly beside you for no apparent reason. Maybe it was a butterfly landing gently on your hand on the very day you needed comfort. These moments aren't just charming or coincidental. They are signs. Heaven is speaking, and creation is responding to the invisible mark of the chosen. Today we're going to uncover something both beautiful and sacred: the 9 animals that are drawn to those chosen by God. These encounters carry meaning, and when we learn to listen, we may discover that God has been speaking through His creation all along. 1. The dragonfly, a sign of spiritual emergence. At first glance, the dragonfly may seem like just another delicate creature fluttering through the air, but beneath its fragile wings lies a powerful spiritual symbol, one that speaks of deep transformation and divine timing. In the unseen language of creation, the dragonfly is often sent as a quiet but profound messenger to those who are being awakened by God. The dragonfly begins life hidden beneath the surface of the water, dwelling in obscurity for most of its early existence. In the same way, those who are chosen by God often go through long periods of anonymity, seasons of being shaped in silence, away from the spotlight, unseen and often misunderstood. These hidden years are not a delay, but a preparation, where character is forged and faith is tested. But when the time comes for emergence, the dragonfly breaks free from its underwater world and takes flight, light, graceful, and radiant. If a dragonfly has crossed your path in a moment of reflection or landed near you without fear, it's no coincidence. It's a divine sign that your time of hiddenness is coming to an end. God is calling you to rise into your purpose and embrace the life He has prepared for you. Its transparent wings speak of clarity and spiritual freedom. The dragonfly doesn't carry unnecessary weight, and neither should you. It invites you to release the burdens of the past, old pain, guilt, fear, or bitterness. Let them go, because where God is taking you, you must fly freely. This small creature arrives to remind you of a profound truth. You are ready. Your transformation is noticed, not just by heaven, but even by creation itself. The dragonfly's visit is heaven's gentle whisper: your new beginning has arrived. 2. The eagle, a sign of calling and elevation. Majestic and fearless, the eagle is not just a bird of prey. It is a symbol of divine strength and heavenly calling. When an eagle appears, especially in moments of inner searching or doubt, it is rarely by chance. Its presence carries a sacred message. You were created to soar above the storms, not to be bound by them. Eagles are designed for altitude. While most birds seek shelter from approaching storms, the eagle does the opposite. It flies straight into the wind, using the pressure of the storm to lift itself higher. This rare trait mirrors the journey of those chosen by God. Their trials are not meant to destroy them, but to elevate them. When you are walking through seasons of hardship, isolation, or uncertainty, and an eagle appears in your sky, it is heaven's reminder that you have been called to rise above. There is a reason the eagle often flies alone. The path of the chosen is not always crowded. God sometimes separates His people to sharpen their vision, to strengthen their wings. You are being invited to leave behind shallow places and the comforts of the familiar, and to step into the heights of purpose that only few dare to reach. If an eagle has crossed your path, especially when you were wrestling with big decisions or heavy burdens, recognize it as a divine signal. It is time to stop looking down in fear and start looking up with faith. The eagle does not fly aimlessly. It soars with purpose. And so must you. Heaven has already given you the strength. Now God is calling your spirit to respond, to rise, to see further, and to live at the level you were always destined for. 3. The monarch butterfly, sign of transformation and new identity. Graceful and vibrant, the monarch butterfly is more than a symbol of beauty. It represents deep, personal transformation. When one of these radiant creatures appears unexpectedly, especially during times of transition, it often carries a quiet yet powerful message. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. The monarch's journey is one of endurance and renewal. It begins as a caterpillar, crawling through life in simplicity, unaware of the greatness it holds within. Then comes the stillness of the chrysalis, a silent season that mirrors the life of many chosen ones. It is in that hidden space, away from the world's gaze, where the most profound change takes place. And often the world doesn't understand the waiting, the silence, or the struggle. But heaven does. If you've recently encountered a monarch butterfly, especially during a time of sorrow, reflection, or spiritual awakening, take it as a divine confirmation. It's not just a passing insect. It's a symbol that your metamorphosis has been seen and acknowledged. The pain you've endured, the shedding of the old, and the courage to embrace the unknown have not been in vain. The butterfly's flight is not just a display of freedom. It is a declaration of identity. It no longer crawls. It no longer hides. It soars. And so should you. When this creature dances around you, it is heaven's gentle way of saying, your old season is over. Your new name, your new nature has already begun. Embrace the lightness. Let go of what no longer serves your spirit. You've been renewed from the inside out. And now it's time to fly, fully and freely, into the life you were born to live. The white dove, sign of divine peace and presence. There are moments in life when words fall short, when the heart aches silently, when decisions weigh heavily, or when prayers feel like whispers in the wind. And in those moments, a white dove may appear. Gliding through the sky in stillness, without fear or fuss, it carries a presence far greater than its form, the unmistakable peace of God. Throughout Scripture, the white dove has symbolized purity, renewal, and the Holy Spirit. It descended from heaven when Jesus was baptized, marking him as the beloved Son. And even now, when a dove appears to a chosen one, it speaks in that same gentle voice, "You are seen. You are not alone." Unlike noisy birds that move in flocks, the white dove often travels alone. Its quiet path reflects the sacred journey of those set apart. The chosen frequently walk through seasons of solitude, seasons where the world doesn't understand their silence, their tears, or their waiting. And it's in this holy stillness that the dove arrives, not to startle, but to assure. If you've seen a lone white dove during a time of grief, change, or inner seeking, don't dismiss it. It may be heaven's subtle declaration that a new season has begun, that healing is near, that God's promises are unfolding even if your eyes can't yet see them. The dove doesn't come with thunder or dramatic signs. It comes with peace, the kind that surpasses understanding. It lands gently, stays momentarily, and leaves behind a knowing. God is here. God is near. Let its presence quiet your fears. You are guided. You are deeply loved. And no matter what surrounds you, divine peace is already on its way. The owl, sign of hidden wisdom and watchful guidance night, has a way of drawing out the quiet questions of the soul. When the world grows silent and shadows stretch long, that's when the deep things surface, doubts, memories, prayers unspoken. And sometimes, in that sacred stillness, an owl appears, not by accident, but with purpose. The owl is no ordinary creature. In many cultures and spiritual traditions, it has long been seen as a symbol of wisdom, discernment, and silent vigilance. But for the chosen, its meaning goes even deeper. When an owl crosses your path, especially during a season of confusion, loss, or introspection, it is heaven's way of saying, you are still seen, even in the dark. Owls do not fear the night, they thrive in it. With eyes that pierce the blackness and movements that make no sound, they embody the presence of God in our most hidden places. For those set apart by Him, there will be seasons of quiet refining, times when answers are withheld, when prayers seem unanswered. But it is in that darkness that spiritual sight is born. If an owl has appeared to you, perched silently, gazing intently, or calling in the night. It is not superstition. It is confirmation. You are being watched over, not by chance, but by divine design. God is guiding you, even when you can't yet see the path ahead. The owl's stillness teaches that not all guidance comes in noise. Sometimes wisdom whispers. Sometimes the deepest truths are revealed not through what is said, but through what is endured. So if the night feels long, take heart. The eyes of heaven are never closed. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. And in your quiet obedience, wisdom is awakening, the kind that only grows in darkness under the watchful gaze of God. 6. The hummingbird, sign of joy, healing, and purity. Amid life's heaviness, there are moments when something small, almost weightless, enters your space and shifts the atmosphere. The hummingbird, swift, brilliant, and silent, is one such messenger. When this shimmering creature appears, especially in still or tender moments, it carries more than beauty. It brings a divine message. Your heart is being restored. The hummingbird is drawn to sweetness. It seeks the hidden nectar in places others overlook. And so too does God draw near to those who, even in hardship, continue to seek goodness. If one of these radiant blue-green birds has hovered near you, know that it's not by chance. It is sensing something sacred in your spirit. A quiet strength, a resilient hope, a purity that still shines despite the battle. Chosen ones often carry invisible wounds. They've walked through valleys, cried silent tears, and kept going when everything told them to stop. The hummingbird arrives as a gentle sign. Your joy is not lost, it is being renewed. Its delicate presence whispers that even after pain, there is beauty. Even after sorrow, there is song. Its colors reflect divine truth. Green for growth and healing, blue for peace and spiritual clarity. And its flight, fast, light, and free, mirrors what your soul is learning to do. Move with grace through life's challenges, refusing to be weighed down by what tried to break you. If a hummingbird has come close, especially in a moment of weariness, receive it as confirmation. You are not forgotten. You are being refreshed. God is awakening joy in you again. Not shallow happiness, but deep, lasting delight. Let this tiny creature remind you, your spirit still dances, your faith still lives, and heaven still sings over you. 7. The cat, a sign of silent recognition and protection. Not all messengers from heaven arrive with sound or spectacle. Some come quietly, with soft steps and steady eyes. The cat, independent, observant, and deeply intuitive, is one of those messengers. When a solitary cat approaches you without seeking food, affection, or attention, it may be responding to something your soul is silently radiating, the presence of the divine. Unlike dogs or birds, cats don't follow commands or respond to noise. They are drawn to what they sense, and what they sense most clearly is spiritual energy, the kind that flows from those who have walked through fire and come out refined. When a cat chooses to sit near you, follow you, or simply be present without a reason, it's not coincidence. It's recognition. In many spiritual traditions, the cat is a symbol of quiet protection, watchfulness, and mystery. Its ability to move between spaces, to observe without interrupting, mirrors how God often works in the lives of the chosen. Not always loudly, but always faithfully. When a cat rests near you, it's as if the unseen world is acknowledging your spirit. You are marked. You are guarded. Chosen ones often walk in solitude, carrying truths and burdens that few understand, but heaven never leaves them uncovered. Sometimes that divine care is shown not through miracles, but through the gentle companionship of a creature who simply stays. If a cat is drawn near in a moment of sadness, prayer, or deep thought, receive it as a quiet message from above. You are not alone. What you carry is seen, not just by heaven, but by creation itself. And in the stillness of that connection, God is saying, you are safe. You are surrounded. Even in silence, you are never unseen. 8. The dog. Sign of loyalty and spiritual companionship. There's something deeply comforting about a dog's silent presence. Not demanding, not dramatic, just steady and faithful. When a dog you don't know quietly begins to follow you, expecting nothing in return, it may be more than a curious coincidence. It may be a sacred sign. Your spirit carries something heaven recognizes. Dogs are drawn to purity, trust, and strength, qualities that are often found in those chosen by God. These individuals carry an invisible light, one not always seen by people, but unmistakable to creation. A dog's instinct senses that light, and when it walks beside you in silence, it is responding to that divine essence. Throughout history, dogs have symbolized loyalty, protection, and friendship. In the spiritual world, they reflect the nearness of God, the kind of presence that doesn't need to say much, because it simply is. For the chosen, who often feel unseen or misunderstood, the quiet companionship of a dog is a reminder. You are never truly walking alone. This kind of encounter isn't loud or grand, but it is powerful. A dog that follows you for no apparent reason may be acting as a guardian, sent, not commanded. It stays close not for food or affection, but because your soul carries a frequency that calls for protection and reverence. If this has happened to you, especially in a season of uncertainty or loneliness, take it to heart. It is heaven's way of reminding you. Your journey is not unnoticed, your heart is known, and your loyalty to God is seen, even when the world overlooks it. In that simple act of silent companionship, God speaks through the humble presence of a dog. I'm with you. Keep walking. You're surrounded by love, even when it feels quiet. 9. The horse. Sign of strength, freedom, and spiritual readiness. There is something undeniably majestic about a horse, its powerful stance, unshakable gaze, and the quiet authority with which it moves. When a free-roaming horse approaches you without fear or force, it's more than a beautiful moment. It may be heaven's way of saying, you are ready to move forward. Horses symbolize more than physical strength. They represent inner resilience, spiritual momentum, and the courage to cross into new seasons. For those chosen by God, the path is rarely simple. It is filled with testing, preparation, and waiting. But when a horse steps toward you calmly and without hesitation, it's not just curiosity. It's recognition. Something in your spirit has shifted. You are no longer standing still. You are prepared to ride with purpose. The horse doesn't appear to just anyone. Its instinct is finely tuned. It feels fear, senses unrest, and avoids chaos. But when it comes close, it's responding to your steadiness, your surrender, and your quiet confidence in God's timing. It's a sign that the season of stillness is ending, and the time for movement has begun. If you've encountered a horse during a walk in nature, a time of personal decision, or a moment of spiritual reflection, receive it as a sacred confirmation. Heaven is calling you out of hesitation and into bold faith, not reckless speed, but steady forward motion, guided by the one who shaped your journey. The horse doesn't rush, but it doesn't retreat either, and neither should you. So when its eyes meet yours, remember, you are not being pushed. You are being invited. Invited to run freely, to live boldly, and to trust that God has already equipped you with the strength to cross into everything He has prepared for you. Each of these sacred encounters, whether with a dragonfly, a dove, or a silent companion, is more than a passing moment. It's a reminder that heaven is watching, that creation responds to the mark of those chosen by God. You may have felt unseen, unheard, or overlooked by the world, but the truth is this: you have been seen, not only by the eyes of animals, but by the one who created them, and you. If even nature recognizes your calling, perhaps it's time you fully embraced it too. Thank you for joining us on this spiritual journey. If this message has spoken to your heart, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. Here, You'll find more inspiring stories, divine insights, and encouragement to help you walk boldly in your purpose. Until next time, remember, you are not alone. You are chosen, and heaven is still speaking. There are moments in life when something deeper stirs inside you. Moments when your soul whispers, "You were made for more." Maybe you've felt that quiet, unshakable sense that you don't quite fit in. You've walked through life carrying a mystery inside, something sacred, something different. And no matter how much the world told you to blend in, you couldn't. That's because you were never meant to. You've been marked. This message is not for everyone. But if you're here, then perhaps it is for you. Perhaps the reason you've always felt different is because you are. You are among the ones God has chosen to carry light in a world gripped by shadows. And if that stirs something in your soul, you're about to discover why. Today, we unveil 3 spiritual marks, divine signatures etched into your spirit, that silently reveal your identity as one of God's chosen ones. These are not just traits. They are sacred assignments, heavenly fingerprints placed upon your life. Let's begin. Part 1. The first mark. Spiritual discernment. You feel what others cannot see. There are moments when your spirit picks up what your eyes cannot see. You walk into a space, and although everyone around you seems fine, something in the air feels wrong. You feel the tension before it's spoken. You sense the shift before it's visible. It's not paranoia. It's perception. And if this sounds like you, then you carry something sacred. You carry the first spiritual mark of the chosen ones: discernment. Spiritual discernment is more than intuition. It's a divine awareness, a supernatural ability to detect what lies beneath the surface. While others react to what they can touch and see, you respond to what is sensed in the spirit. This is not just insight. It is insight aligned with God's whisper. It may have made you feel different all your life. Maybe you were labeled too sensitive, too intense, or too suspicious. You've probably been told to lighten up or stop overthinking. But what if your sensitivity isn't a flaw to fix, but a gift to honor? What if God designed you to sense what others overlook, not to overwhelm you, but to equip you? This is the mark of a forerunner, one who walks ahead of the natural. It's the mark carried by prophets like Elisha. In 2 Kings 6, Elisha warned Israel of enemy ambushes, not because he saw them, but because God revealed them to his spirit. His discernment was so precise that it baffled the enemy king, who thought there must be a traitor in his ranks. In truth, Elisha's spiritual radar made the unseen seen. You may carry the same kind of radar. You feel what's off before anyone says a word. You've known things before they happened, only to watch them unfold. You read atmospheres. You sense deception. You notice the shift in energy when someone enters the room. These aren't just feelings. They're divine alerts. God wired your soul as an early warning system, not just for your protection, but for purpose. But let's be honest. Living with this gift is not always easy. Discernment can feel like a burden when no one believes you. When you speak up and people roll their eyes. When you call out danger and they call you dramatic. But discernment doesn't wait for validation. It's not about being right. It's about being ready. And readiness often looks foolish until the storm hits. Even Jesus lived with this mark. He saw motives behind smiles, truth behind flattery, and hearts behind words. He wasn't impressed by what appeared clean. He looked at what was hidden. And because his discernment was pure, his actions were always in alignment with heaven's will. So if you've been wrestling with this sensitivity, if you've ever asked, "Why do I feel so much?" know this: you're not broken. You're awake. And being awake in a sleeping world will always feel lonely at first. But loneliness doesn't mean you're lost. It means you've been set apart. Discernment is the first mark of the chosen. It is not something you learn. It is something you uncover. a sacred frequency your soul was already tuned to long before the world tried to silence it. And now, it's time to trust it. Part 2. The second mark. Healing presence. Your energy shifts atmospheres. Not all power is loud. Not every miracle begins with a word. Some of the most profound transformations happen in silence, through presence alone. And if you've ever noticed how people calm down around you, how children are drawn to you, or how animals instinctively trust you, then you are carrying the second mark of the chosen, a healing presence. This is not charisma. It's not charm or personality. It's something far more sacred. It's the atmosphere you carry, the invisible yet undeniable energy that surrounds you. Without trying, you bring peace into anxious spaces. Without speaking, you shift the mood in a room. And without knowing it, you've become a sanctuary for the weary and the wounded. Children and animals recognize it before adults do. Have you ever caught a toddler staring at you with wide, knowing eyes? Or noticed how a dog rests quietly at your feet, even though it just met you? That's not coincidence. It's confirmation. Pure hearts, untethered by social conditioning, sense spiritual truth. They feel what many have forgotten how to notice. The Bible speaks to this in Matthew 21:16, where Jesus says, "From the lips of children and infants, you, Lord, have called forth your praise." There's something in you that resonates with innocence, because what you carry comes from a place of spiritual purity. When Jesus walked the earth, children ran to him, not because he performed tricks, but because his spirit was safe. His presence was love. You may not realize it, but you carry a piece of that same essence. It's why people open up to you without knowing why. It's why friends and strangers alike find themselves confiding in you, seeking your peace like thirsty souls drawn to water. They're not responding to your words. They're responding to your frequency. And it's not always easy. Sometimes your presence reveals more than comfort. It reveals discomfort in others. When your light enters a room, it gently exposes what's been hidden in the shadows. Some will be drawn to that light. Others may retreat from it. Not because of you, but because of what your energy awakens in them. You become a mirror, reflecting not only peace, but truth. In John 10:27, Jesus says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me." It's not about sound. It's about recognition. Your spirit speaks before you do, and those who are attuned to God's light will always recognize it in you. No title, no introduction, no explanation needed. This is the mark of a healing presence. It's a quiet kind of power. Soft but strong, calm but deeply commanding. The world doesn't always understand it, but the soul does. Because presence is prophetic, it reveals who you are before you say a word. So the next time someone says they feel peace around you, believe them. The next time a baby smiles at you for no reason, smile back. It's a spiritual hello. And the next time you sense that your stillness is changing the air around you, don't shrink. That's God moving through you. You don't just walk into rooms, you transform them. This is the second mark of the chosen, and you were born to carry it. Part 3. The third mark. Creative alignment. Your thoughts shape reality. Have you ever noticed how often your thoughts seem to come to life? How a person you were thinking about suddenly calls you? Or how something you imagined, clearly, deeply, repeatedly, began to unfold almost exactly as you envisioned it? This is not coincidence. It is the third and perhaps most mysterious spiritual mark of the chosen, creative alignment. You were created in the image of God, the ultimate creator. That means creation is not just something you witness. It's something you participate in. Your thoughts are not idle. Your inner world is not just a private space. For the chosen ones, your thoughts are seeds, and what you focus on consistently becomes the reality you walk into. This isn't wishful thinking, it's a spiritual law. Proverbs 23:7 declares, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." In other words, your life will eventually mirror your most dominant thoughts. And if your heart is aligned with God's will, your thoughts carry extraordinary power, not just to dream, but to shape. Throughout Scripture, we see this truth in action. Joseph, betrayed by his brothers and imprisoned for years, never let go of the vision God gave him. He didn't just survive his trials. He aligned his mind with destiny. Even in chains, his thoughts were fixed on purpose, and that internal focus became the key that unlocked his future. The Apostle Paul writes in Romans 12:2, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Transformation doesn't begin on the outside, it starts within. Your thoughts are the architects of your reality. And when your mind is synchronized with heaven, your thoughts begin to carry the frequency of creation itself. That's why your imagination feels different. That's why your prayers often become patterns in your life, because you don't just hope, you align. Your inner clarity attracts outer movement. Your focused belief moves invisible pieces into place. It's not magic, it's spiritual momentum. But with great power comes great responsibility. What you dwell on matters, not just for your future, but for the atmosphere around you. Fearful thoughts can grow weeds just as fast as faith-filled ones grow fruit. That's why Philippians 4:8 tells us to think only on what is true, noble, pure, and praiseworthy. Because the battlefield is the mind, and what you allow to take root will eventually rise. You are not an ordinary thinker. Your mind is a sacred canvas. Every thought is a brushstroke, every vision a blueprint. What you repeat becomes real. What you believe becomes visible. That's the power of divine alignment, and it lives in you. So ask yourself, what am I feeding in my thoughts? Are you planting fear or vision, doubt or destiny? Because your inner world is always building something, and one day, you'll walk into what you've imagined. This is the third mark of the chosen. And now that you know it, use it wisely. You were never meant to just observe the world. You were born to shape it, with your thoughts, with your spirit, and with unwavering faith. Carrying these spiritual marks is both a divine privilege and a sacred weight. Yes, they set you apart, but they also set you on a path few understand. To feel deeply, to heal silently, and to shape reality with your thoughts is no small calling. It can feel isolating at times, especially when others dismiss what you sense or misunderstand what you carry. But that isolation is often preparation. You weren't made to fit in, you were made to transform. And transformation rarely happens in comfort. While the burden may be heavy, the blessing is far greater. These marks are not flaws, they are signs of your assignment. They are evidence that heaven entrusted you with something rare, something holy. The more you embrace them, the more your life begins to align, not with the world's expectations, but with God's divine purpose. Living as one of God's chosen isn't about striving to be perfect, it's about staying connected to the source. The first step is learning to guard your thoughts like a sacred garden. What you allow to take root in your mind will eventually shape the direction of your life. You must also protect your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your spirit. Just as Jesus often withdrew to quiet places to pray, you too need stillness to stay spiritually aligned. Most importantly, walk with intention. Let your actions flow from clarity, not pressure. When your inner world is centered in truth, your outer world begins to reflect it. This journey isn't about doing more. It's about becoming more aware of who you already are in Christ and living boldly from that truth. You've spent your life searching for meaning, but now you're beginning to realize you are the meaning. You were never just here to witness truth. You were designed to carry it, to embody it, to be it. These three spiritual marks, discernment, healing presence, and creative alignment, are not just traits you possess. They are divine evidence of who you are becoming. You don't need to strive to prove your worth. Simply by walking in alignment with God's call, your life becomes a message, a living testimony that light still breaks through darkness. So as you move forward, do it with confidence. You are not alone. You are not behind. You are right on time, and the world needs what you carry. If this message resonated with your spirit, I want to thank you for spending this time here. Your presence matters more than you know. And if you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Join a growing community of believers awakening to who they truly are in Christ, chosen, called, and ready. Together, we're not just learning truth, we're living it. God bless you, and may your light continue to shine.